Family, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. If you're watching this later, then share with 7. Also, please be patient and wait and see if a few tune in before we get started. But we're going to talk work-life struggles. Garrett, how you doing, my young brother? I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. We're going to talk work-life struggles. Work-life struggles. Or even school life struggles. That's good. I'm glad you're good. I'm glad you're good. I'm glad you're good. So as we know that this is the beginning of the week, Sunday, and tomorrow is the beginning of the work week. Actually, today is the beginning of the work week. The beginning of the school week. It doesn't start the day of. It starts the day before. Work starts Sunday. Evening, Sunday period. School, same as well. Same as well. What a trust word, same as well. Because it's about preparation. Preparation. Prepare the day before so you can get your day started the day of, not prepare the day before so you'll be ready to get your day started the day of. Meaning, if I have everything I need to do taken care of today, I don't have to worry about tomorrow playing catch up because I got it done today. So when we talk about work-life struggles, oftentimes it starts at home the day before. Because we don't prepare the day before, so the day of, we find ourselves stressed out before we even get started. Stop. Good evening. So right now, for the couple of minutes that I have to fellowship with y'all, let's talk work-life struggles. Let's talk work-life struggles. I'm good. Thanks for asking. I would say we all have some type of work-life struggles, whatever it is. What I've come to realize is some of our work-life struggles. This does not apply to all, and this isn't always the case. But when it comes down to work-life struggles, regardless of what's going on around us, we control how we respond, how we react, how we show up. So regardless of what's going on around us, because we are showing up with a goal in mind, even if it's just to get a check, we still don't have an attitude like we just here to collect a check. Because the individuals that I encounter, I'm just here to get a check. Their work ethic look like that. Their performance look like that. Their stank attitudes look like that. So regardless of if you're there to get a check, obviously we all are because we have responsibilities, we still need to show up different. We still need to show up because we're set apart. We're not supposed to be like doing what everybody else doing, gossiping about other people, doing that's not what we need to be on. Same thing goes for school. That's not what we need to be on. We need to show up different, period. Because we're set apart, we have to show up and go all in. Not waiting for the accolades, a pat on the back, not to be accepted, not to be seen. But this is what we do, and this is how I get down. So regardless if it's the negative culture, then the negative culture is the negative culture. We don't add to that. We be the example showing what it looks like to have a good attitude. Being willing to help and serve others. You feel me? So when it comes down to work-life struggles, yeah, we can talk about the workplace and everything, right? But what can we do different? Because there are some individuals go to work, they don't really do much, They complain about everything. They talk about everybody. Give their bosses pushback. They insubordinate. But then too, when they're called out on what they're not doing, what should they improve, how they can go about doing things differently, bad attitude. The profanity that we be going to work on, like all that cussing and all that, that's unnecessary. So a lot of what we put out, that's what we get back in. So we have to hold ourselves accountable and say, I'm better than that. I'm going to show up different moving forward. Because if I have to be the example by holding myself accountable, challenging myself to do better, then let that be what it is. Because like when I used to be in the workplace, like half working, I'm supposed to be over here in this department working, I'm way over there talking, looking between the racks and everything. I see the supervisor come, I try to hurry up and go back to my area like I've been working this whole time. And then when they call me out, they watch me, man, I gotta go back over here, man. They tripping, they watch me. Yeah, you're a rotten apple. You know what I mean? Like they gotta watch it because people are watching you, so they think it's okay, and it's not okay. So what can we do different? Hey, what's up, y'all? Just tuned in. What can we do different? Because it's watching us be picking on us and stuff like that. But when they learn that we come to work, we don't do all that extra politicking. We come in, we handle our business. A lot of times they back up off of us because they see we're not like everyone else. We're not doing what everyone else is doing. But it's us choosing to show up to work, to show up to school differently, being the example, not to show somebody else off or to be better than anybody else. Like, no, I just hold myself to a higher standard and I need to show up into that. Can we agree on that? David, how you doing? How you doing, my brother? Can we agree on that? Stump, I appreciate it. Where oftentimes I stream while I'm driving. I am extremely very careful. That's why I look down at the screen here and there. But I don't study the work. I don't study what you all saying. At least I try not to. But I encourage all of you not to. Period. So what can showing up to work, what can we do different? And if you feel like, hey, I show up, my attendance is on point, my performance is on point, my work ethic is on point, I'm on point with mine. I take pride in what I do, not who I am. I take pride in what I do because I want it done, and I want it done right the first time. You feel me? If that's you, that's what's up. Keep doing it. If it's you got a few individuals where that you rock with, they're super negative, always complaining, always talking about somebody else, kind of pull back from that because they get the rubbing off on you. You know what I'm saying? They're complaining about things about the job, which could be legitimate. But then too, that's an open door for us to feel comfortable to, whether it's vent, however we want to look at it, but we find ourselves complaining with them about the job, and it's just bad energy. You feel me? So just pull back from that because it's going to get the rubbing off on you. Where it happened once, it can happen again, and then before you know it, you I notice I'm starting to complain a lot, and I only do this when I'm around certain individuals. And then you look at those individuals, how do they show up to work? Do they have a good attitude like you? Do they have a really good work ethic like you? Do they perform and execute at a high level like you? If they do not, then that's red flag. Even if they do, still red flag because it starts to rub off on you, and it starts to affect your attitude. And because you start to see things that are unfair, which you already have, but because you've allowed this to infiltrate, and now you feel it away, it's like, you know what am I going all in when they over there talking? When they don't even come in and do half the stuff I do, but they always watching me, and I like bump all that. Like all it takes is one seed to be planted that we water and cultivate a little bit. Before we know it, we have a whole harvest of complaints. We have a whole harvest of attitude. We have a whole harvest of profanity. Like it's just not worth it. Like we have to come to work anyway. We have a responsibility to do anyway. Like we gotta go to work, show up anyway. We have to pay bills. We have responsibilities anyway. Like why bring in all that extra weight and baggage? It makes our job harder. It's not worth it. Mentally, like it's not worth it. It's just not. You know what I'm saying? So just show up and just do your thing like you've been doing. You know what I mean? Like if you have a bad day, look, what I encourage is not every day you're gonna feel 100. Not every day you're gonna feel 100. Still give it 100. Show up and give 100, although you may not 100. That way, whenever you leave, at least you know you give it your all. Today, I wasn't really feeling it. I did my best. We can't even be mad at that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they complain, whatever. Like, I come in, I show up every single day, execute at a high level every single day. I had an off day, but I still gave my all. Although the result of it didn't look like my all, compared to how I normally show up and my execution, you know, I at least gave my all, because on the cool, I was gonna call in, but I don't get down like that. And that's another thing. A lot of y'all, like, some of y'all, like, be calling in, like, left and right. And then when you need to call in due to an emergency or whatever it is, or you actually really sick this go around, and they give you pushback, can you be mad at them? Look at the last 3 or 4 times you called in. Was the reason legitimate? Did you wait till the last 20, 30 minutes before you had to be there to be like, man, I ain't gonna be able to make it? Like, no, like, give them like 2 or 3 hours. If you know early in the day I ain't gonna be able to make it, call then. Why wait till the last couple of minutes to call in, knowing they're gonna have to find your replacement? And you wonder why they trip. They know who the rotten apples are. It's patterns. It's habits. And check me out. If you one of them, like, it's clear. Mondays and Fridays, I mean, you calling in Mondays and Fridays, come on. We know what it is. You feel me? We know what it is. You call in on Monday or Friday, and you do this often, or we look at all the times you called in, it's usually on a Monday or Friday. Come on, we know what it is. You know what I'm saying? So when you do that and they give you pushback, they want to write you up, don't be on some, man, they tripping. No, you have a pattern. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's called accountability. If you're not going to hold yourself accountable, like, it's their responsibility to hold you accountable. Period. You feel me? So when it comes down to work-life struggles, like, the environment is what the environment is. The bad management, if that's what it is at your job, it's what it is. Change your mindset and be like, you know what, these are all the things I have. Matter of fact, do me this favor. For you all who are here left, do me a favor. All the complaints you have about your job, write it down. Write it down. All the complaints you have about your job, write it down. And each one of those things, look at them, and the thing that you complain about, like this, that, if they did this, if they did that, then this would be the basically a better result, write the solutions down. Whatever you're complaining about and you have an answer for, if they did this, it would be much better or flow smoother or operate like whatever it is, put the solution down to each one of those complaints that you have on paper. It's changing mindset. And this is especially for you all who may complain about raises, the job not paying enough, and I'm doing all this, I'm doing that, right? Ask yourself, what makes you different from the next person who come in and do the same thing you do, execute like you do? What's the difference? No difference. You come in to do your job, right? But when you can provide a solution to these problems, then that's what sets you apart. You're no longer complaining. You see all these issues going on with the company. Okay, now I have solutions to these problems. Present it to them, but not with a stank attitude and like complaining and be like, hey, look, check this out. So I know that like this is what I normally do on a day-to-day basis. Like I test this theory because I'm like, it has to be a better way. It has to be a more efficient way. You know what I'm saying? Like where the numbers are still there or the numbers will improve, but I have a better way of doing it. Check this out. So I test this, right? I did it how I've been doing it for years. This past week, I did everything right, how we're supposed to do it. All right, cool. Now, this week, what I did was, because again, I find this way to be more efficient and effective. This is what I did. And this is the result of what I did different, opposed to what we all supposed to be doing, right? Like, I got done quicker. I was actually able to do more in less time. And basically like cause and effect, right? So you're looking at the problems, you had the solutions to it, put it to the test. All right, it's about data too. They big on numbers. So write down what improvements was made from what you did, how you tested. What improvements was it? Did it improve your numbers? Did it improve the performance? Like, were you more efficient and more effective? The point is, once you have all these different things that you complain about the company, that if they did something different, it would be better. What is that different that they can do? And what is the better result? Record that, right? And then put it to the test yourself. That way, if you're going to go in like this is a solution, it can't be off of theory. Yeah, sure, you can present it to them, but they more likely to receive it if you have the data to go with it. You might be like, man, that's too much work. If you feel like that, stop complaining. If you're not willing to do anything to change it, stop complaining. If you're not willing to do anything to make it better, stop complaining. What's the point of complaining if we're not going to do anything to change it? Period. What's the point? We're going to give ourselves a heart attack for no reason. Stressing ourselves out every day for no reason. We have a solution, but we're not willing to do a little extra. That way, when we present it to them, then check this out. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to receive it every time, because naturally, it's going to be pushback. Bad company corrupts good character. Yes, that is very true. But we're not talking about our circle. Now, at work, if that's what you're referring to, like the people that we work with and we get entangled with them and we complain and doing all that stuff or whatever, then yeah, like it's going to rub off on us big time at some point. But as it relates to the job, the company that we work at, then yes, it can, but not necessarily. Over time, if we lose focus, look, check this out. if we have goals, we have personal life goals, right? We have personal life goals outside of our job. We know what our goals are. So us showing up to work, our show up will be different. Because I have this goal in mind. I'm coming to work I'm after this goal. So I'm too busy focused on what I'm supposed to be doing so I can achieve that goal, because it's going to make my personal life better. And because I have career goals, I know this is part of this is a part of the process. I'm doing it for the experience. I'm doing it for the skill set. Like, I'm doing it to learn. That way, again, it's different when we don't have goals. We just showing up to work to get a check. We're not shooting for anything. But when we're shooting for something and we're not allowing the distraction to come in to knock us off focus, to knock us off what we're doing and what we're doing it for, then whatever's going on around us is just going on around us. I can't lose course. I can't get off course. You feel me? I can't lose focus. This is why I'm here. So again, when we talk about money, we have these solutions to these problems. We might present four or five different things to them, right? And they be like, well, nah, we're not sure about that or whatever. I guarantee you at some point, I don't know how soon, I don't know, like at some point, a few things can happen. Either at some point they start to come to you for your input when it comes down to someone being replaced, or they open up another department or whatever it is. Guess who's the first person, one of the first person gonna come in mind? You. Because why? Because you set yourself apart. You're not walking around complaining like everybody else. You don't have a stank attitude like everybody else. You're showing up on time, like you showing up to work on time. You will, like, you go all in. You willing to do the extra. You willing to help out. Like, I mean, you showing good character, integrity. They can trust you. You feel me? So you will be one of the first people that come to mind for a promotion. Or when it come down to raise, then guess who will also be considered of that? You. Right? But just say none of that happened at the company that you're at. Guess what? Those good character traits, what you've learned at this job, the skill set that you acquired at this job, guess what? Because you was willing to help in another department, you learned more. You probably learned operation. You probably learned, you learned something new and something different from what you already knew. So you added that to your toolbox. So when it come down to applying for another job for a better pay, guess what? You've learned some things that no one can take from you. You can say, yeah, I got 2 years of experience in this. I've acquired this skill set. You get what I'm saying? It's all about mindset. So instead of us going to work complaining about everything, the things that we're complaining about, how about we find a solution for it? And for you all who's systematic, you care about systems, like you care about creating things, putting things together, like that could look like a course. That could look like a training program. That could look like anything. You get what I'm saying? Change your mindset. So when we go above and beyond and do that, We set ourselves apart because that's what we there for anyway. We're just now tapping into what and why God placed us there. We just now tapping into that. But that's what he had in mind all along. So now, because we're set apart, now we have something to offer the workplace. Other than us showing up like everybody else, we doing what everybody else doing. Sure, we operating at a higher level, and we really um we really go all in, and like, yeah, for sure. But amongst 100 amongst 100 employees that work there, let's say the number is 50. There's 50 other people that execute. No, I am not even gonna say that. There's probably 25 to 30 other individuals who execute at a high level like you. So then we go for a raise. It's like, or we go present something to them. What makes us different from them? What makes us different from the other 25, 30 individuals who execute like we do? They're gonna look at it like, well, you just coming to work doing what you supposed to do. Great job. We appreciate you. We need more like you. You feel me? But when you bring something more and something different from the table, I mean, when you bring something different or more to the table that everyone else isn't bringing, you the only one on this, it sets you further apart. Again, it's about mindset. Like, we can go to work, and like every one of us can go to work and complain about what this manager is doing or not doing, how and where the company can do and be better. Like, we can talk about this all day long. We can go back and forth all day long. What they got going on shouldn't affect us in a way to where, like, it affects our character. It affects our heart, our attitude in any way. It happens. I'm not perfect. It has happened in my past. But the more and more I do this, the longer I do this, the more the Lord continue to work on me and do changes inside of me, the less likely it occurs and less often. And as it should, as all of us. Because when it comes down to us who are in Christ, we are set apart. Period. Be ye holy as I am holy. We are set apart and supposed to be set apart. So we shouldn't, like, when it comes down to standing out, like, we should stand out without trying to fit in. We should stand out without fitting in. Period. And when it comes down to the work that you do, like, it's like, I mean, if my name is on it, like, it has to look a certain way. And I'm not speaking from a place of pride. It's just, I don't want you to look at my performance or my work and it's like you look down on it. Or like, I know it's trash, you know it's trash, and then you call me out on it. I have the nerve to cop an attitude to get pissed about it. Like, bro, you knew what you turned in was unacceptable. You know what that looked like. Come on, bro. Like, you passed the deadline. You had plenty of time, but you over here Cadillacing and BSing. Like, we can hold ourselves to a higher standard to where we show up at a more significant, effective, efficient, and like at a high value type level. All of us can. So when we're talking about work-life struggles, that's my encouragement to each and every one of us. Regardless of what they have going on, let's look in the mirror and ask ourselves, what can we do better? How can we show up different? And then make those necessary adjustments. And then every single day, take action. It may not be a overnight type of transition or transformation, but it's every day we do this. We'll get it right. We'll get it right at some point. And again, we're not doing it for everyone else, for someone else. Like, this is just, you know what? I'm just gonna show up to work different. I'm gonna show up to school different. Like, I'm gonna start doing better because I know I am better than what I've been doing, what I've been producing. And period. So let's hold ourselves to a higher standard. Let's be the example. What's up, Songbird? Let's be the example. And it's not about look at me. Let's show how it's done. And that's not coming from a prideful place, but it's like, if we can show up and do better, why aren't we? If we can show up and do better, why not? Oh man, this I work at Walmart. It ain't what? Because where you work at, that depends on, like, that determine how you come in and show up and go all in. Really? Oh, I'm just a waiter. You be the best dang waiter up in that place. You feel me? I don't care what you do. Buzz boy, I don't care what you do. How low of any position you look at. Who cares? You feel me? Who cares? You make sure you best at what you do. Where you at? The race or competition isn't against anyone else. It's you saying, you know what? I'm better than that. So I'm going to produce better. I'm more than that. So I'm going to produce more. I am set apart. So I am going to be the example. Elevate your standard and show up according to that every single day. Not looking for the pats on the backs, not looking for to be acknowledged, but because, like, I just wanna do good work. I just want to show up different. I don't want to fit in with everybody else. I don't want to do what everybody else doing. When it come down to them complaining about certain individuals in the company, I don't want my name to be mixed up in all of that. And because of that, like, I gotta pull back. Who cares what they gonna say? Who cares about the people I used to rock with like that? How they gonna talk about me? Who cares? I have a family. I have a responsibility, and I'm a live up to that because my family depended on me. Period. So let them say what they gonna say, do what they gonna do. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. You feel me? And that's how we have to show up. All right. So I just made home from my little dude basketball game, and about to eat dinner with the family before wife going to drop the oldest young and out back at college. So if I don't talk to y'all later, I'll hopefully talk to you all tomorrow if God wills. I just wanted to drop some encouragement on showing up different to work. Actually, we supposed to be on this in every area of our life, which we need to work on that in every area of our life. But obviously, like right now, we're talking about the workplace. So um, I wish I had my shirt on so you can see what I'm talking about. Show up different. That means that means set yourself apart from most, show up and go all in. Period. You have all that it takes. Please, if you're just not tuning in or whatever, go back from the beginning. This live is on like 34 minutes. Go back from the beginning and watch it over. Maybe it's some helpful things there that you can take what you need, leave what you don't. But let's make some necessary adjustments and start showing up and going all in, elevating our standards and living up and showing up to that every single day. All right, let's go make this thing happen. You need my help. Um, so um, I need your help. Send me $20. That's not necessarily how that works. Um, oh yeah, definitely not how that works. Lord, I pray that your your hand was over this live, this conversation. I pray that you reveal to each and every one of us what changes need to be made, what adjustments need to be made, and give us your wisdom according to what your standard is and what you expect us to do. Um, Allow that to help us show up differently in that area, because ultimately it's not about us. Like for us who are in Christ, you said, do all things to the glory of God. So they we can't be known as Christians and believers of Jesus Christ, and we're acting, doing, and showing up like everybody else. Like we represent you ultimately. So reveal to us what changes need to be made. Give us your wisdom and how to go about making those changes, and and empower us to show up different every single day moving forward. Lord, thank you for your patience and your mercy, for us to make those changes and show up, Lord. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. This is my wife calling, so I gotta run. I love you all greatly. Much love. Peace.